All right, we did it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Agent Outreach Live. My name is Ryan Zolin. This is my amazing co-host, Landry Morby. We are super excited to be back. Obviously, last week there was no show. You guys can see from my different environment and also a little bit of stuffiness in my voice. I was sick. I got the super dangerous, deadly man cold. If you guys have not heard of that,
Oh,
beware. It is terrifying. But no, I was 102 fever down, just kind of getting wiped out. For whatever reason, my body likes to do this right before we have our masterminds, but it's all good. So it gives me a little bit of time just to kind of recoup, make sure everything's all good, back to healthy. But that's also why I am working and doing the show remote. So again, Agent Outreach Live. You have not tuned in before. If this is your first time, welcome. This is the show where we show you how to work with agents, real estate agents, and then also how to effectively find deals on the MLS. Why me? Why Landry? Landry works for this amazing company called Batch Services, Batch Leads. If you guys are in the real estate investing space, you are very familiar with them. But Batch has given us the blueprint to follow with this specific tool. So we use Batch Leads to go in and actually find deals that are active on the MLS. And then we also use Batch Leads for its newest invention, which is agent outreach. So we're able to pull lists of real estate agents. We're able to go out there and contact them. And then obviously we can create win-win relationships with the agents while finding deals on the MLS and then also just doing agent outreach. Why me? So I've been thankful to have been friends with the people over at Batch, but also I think I've done a pretty good job of building up my brand and my reputation as the guy that goes and does deals on the MLS and by working with agents. So through Agent Outreach Live, our goal is to kind of go behind the scenes, show you guys what it actually takes to build successful relationships with real estate agents, how to find deals on the MLS, how to have the conversations, and really just take it a step further. I think that a lot of the stuff that's taught out there, it's phenomenal. And I think that it's almost too phenomenal, right? Like there's so much information out there that you don't know what you don't know. So the one thing I always try to get my point across as is that if you're just getting started, this is the best strategy. Wholesaling in general, I think, is a great place to start to become a real estate investor. But when you start going and like getting further down the rabbit hole, you realize wholesaling is a tip of the iceberg statement. What wholesaling actually breaks down to is different strategies within wholesale. That could be direct to seller, that could be MLS, that could be a joint venture model, that could be agent outreach, that could be going out there and, I mean, even within direct to seller, I mean, there's door knocking, driving for dollars, skip tracing. Also, shout out to Batch Leads for that. There's a bunch of different stuff, is my point. So if all of those things cost money, the one thing that doesn't is going to be just going and putting in the time. And in the time, what I'm referring to for this strategy is working with real estate agents and then submitting offers on the MLS. In this show, we're going to be flipping back and forth from agent outreach just by pulling lists to then today, we're going to be going in and working deals on the MLS. That was a very long spiel. I think that, what is that, 3 minutes, 4 seconds? Time me. Landry, how are you doing today?
great. I'm glad you're feeling better too, Ryan. Always looking forward to doing this show every single week. And if you guys are new to this show, then make sure you go back and watch some of the previous episodes, especially if you're curious about networking with real estate agents. We've had some really, really great conversations. Ryan connecting with agents all over in different markets, which has been really cool to kind of see different kind of conversations too, which is why like Ryan's breaking down why we started to decide to switch between calling things that are listed on the market and just reach out to agents that may or may not have listings right now. So I'm going to show you guys in just a little bit how we're getting this data within Batch, like Ryan's talking about as well. But I'm excited, doing really good. And yeah, just been up to doing more projects as always. So
I love it. And today, I mean, you gave a sneak preview there. We're looking on the MLS. What market are we looking in today?
we are looking in Vegas.
Vegas. Landry's actually never had like a true Vegas experience. We were just discussing this before we went live. If you guys are looking for deals in Vegas, or if you have just partied in Vegas, either or, we're trying to make this interactive show. Comment below, let us know. The cool thing about what we do with the show, obviously, is showing transparent conversations behind the scenes, what happens next. The next best thing is that what I try to do is actually give back here. So while a lot of people in real estate investing are just going to say they're nationwide wholesalers, I don't have that bandwidth. And that's just me, again, not just transparent, just telling you what my control level is. I'm not able to go and do deals in every state. So when we're doing deals in Arizona or in Florida, making calls or submitting offers, yes, I would love to be a resource. But if we're doing deals or making calls or submitting offers into markets that I'm not in, Vegas being one of them, I have a lot of great connections in Vegas. What I would love to do is if we're able to get a deal put together, if you are interested in joint venturing on this deal, let us know in the comments. We'll direct you later on in the show over to our Discord so that you can get all the contact information. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically put this on a silver platter. I'm going to hand it to you. The only thing I cannot do is actually spoon feed you. You have to use the utensils and actually eat the food yourself. But the one thing is that I put it right in front of you. So if you're interested in JVing a deal, maybe this is one of your local markets, feel free to comment below and let us know.
Awesome.
Cool.
And Ryan, if you want to kind of explain like what the difference is too between like when we are switching between these types of methods on Agent Outreach Live, like why would you go about reaching out to agents with, not caring about their listings? And then on the other hand, like what we're doing today, what's the benefit of starting, like, especially for people that haven't done their first deal yet? Like,
for sure.
What's so good about on market?
We mentioned it at the beginning briefly where it's like, okay, well, there's all these different strategies. When there's a lot of different strategies and you don't know what you don't know, all that it comes down to, which I'm hoping if you haven't heard this said yet, there's a few things. First off, it could take you 6 to 12 months to get your first deal. It's not sexy. It's not attractive. And the reason people don't talk about it is because it doesn't sell courses. It doesn't encourage people to go and join communities and spend money and put in potentially half a year's worth of work with the hopes that it could succeed. The next thing is that marketing costs. So while I mentioned a lot of these things take time, the other aspect is that it takes potential money. So the reason as to why you hear me probably sound a little biased towards these strategies, my spiel, my stories all over the internet. You could find it, watch a few of the podcasts, listen to my story and how it all came to be. But I tried direct to seller marketing. It's not that it doesn't work. And if anything, I'll actually just tell you guys, the more lucrative model typically is direct to seller investing in marketing. The reason we don't do it is because if it were transparently told to you that it could take $5, $10, $15, $20,000 plus a month just to be considered relevant in that space, most people wouldn't even be able to get started because they realized it takes a lot of bandwidth. So where the bias comes in of me saying this is the best place to start, there's also an awareness piece on my end, knowing that this could be a stepping stone, meaning that if you were to come in, get a couple of deals, make 10K, now you have options. So rather than going and putting everything on a credit card and taking all of your hard work, life savings and putting it into what could be just a glimpse of hope, let's have a plan. Let's have action. So Landry, you asked what the difference is. Well, first off, they're the best strategies to get started within real estate investing specific to wholesaling. Next is let's break down each one of them. While we know they're both free, they both take time. So what's the benefit? What's one versus the other? MLS is going to be something that if you were looking for a deal today, even yesterday for that matter, the MLS is the place to go. The reason, when we're talking about direct to seller marketing and we're talking about agent outreach, the first part of the equation is finding a seller that is not just willing to sell their house, but is motivated enough to sell their house for a discount. So when we start to consider that the first factor is a variable out of our control, which is somebody's willingness, emotion, and tie to a property that they are willing to sell, why not go on the MLS? That person has not only just said, yes, I'm interested in selling it. They've employed a realtor, which we all know very, very well how amazing realtors are at answering their phones, communicating properly, doing what's in everybody's best interest. There's some sarcasm.
I was like, well,
right. Realtors
but
are
you sounded
not
like really genuine. So I was like, yeah, that's right.
No, the realtors are very difficult to work with, just as sellers are. Nothing in this is going to be easy. But the reason that we're going to go and do this is because if we're going to go and try to find a deal yesterday, the MLS is where somebody's at least willing to sell their house. Now it is just a matter of the numbers making sense. So while Brent always says this beautifully, we are deal finders, not deal creators. In my opinion, everything can be a deal for the right price. Everything is a deal relative to your buyer. So as long as the deal makes sense for your buyer and for the seller to walk away with whatever it is that they need, the only other thing that is going to be a stickler now is the realtor's commission. Here is the best thing in the world. Bottom line, you're not paying the commission. So the only thing that's going to have to change is them realizing that the price that they could actually get to sell this property may not be worth whatever it is the seller's asking. Meaning that the seller may have to take a lower price. The realtor may have to take a little bit less commission. These are all things we work through in the equation, but MLS is going to take time, but it has potential of paying you out the fastest. Agent outreach, still a free strategy. The beauty behind agent outreach is that this is just a numbers game. So while it could take 6 to 12 months to get your first deal, we had an example at the beginning of this year that took us about 10 and a half, 11 months of following up with an agent, but it paid us out over 6 figures. By the time you
So
break it all down, it's like $4,000, $3,000 an hour. It's fantastic pay. But the thing that I'm willing to challenge most people with is, are you willing to go and work some lead for 11 months straight with no guarantee it could work, but just understanding that this is the game we play as, in a weird way, crazy real estate entrepreneurs, especially in this given market, but we're going to do whatever it takes to find success. So that's the long answer of what the biggest differences are. Our strategies, I think, are the best place to get started. MLS is something that would get you a deal fastest. Agent outreach is going to get you something that is going to build a long-term relationship between you and the agents you work with.
love it. And for anybody wondering as well, like, why would an agent work with an investor as well? Like, how are they going to make money out of it?
So if you're the perspective of an investor or an agent, I'm sorry.
I guess both sides. It's like, for anybody that is hesitant about reaching out to real estate agents with the big question that everybody wonders about, like, well, what's in it for the agent kind of thing,
Yeah,
if they don't realize
sure.
how it's beneficial for the agent too.
So one of like the catchphrases or whatever you want to say of being a realtor is, the hardest part of being a real estate agent is finding a client. The hardest part of being an investor is to find a deal. So for whatever reason, the gap that needs to be bridged here isn't, meaning that agents have this bad taste in their mouth of wholesalers. A lot of them that
Yeah.
are investor friendly, they're not doing the investment side at the highest potential, mostly because they're primarily traditional focused. So realtors wake up and their focus is not just on that one transaction, it's on continuously building a pipeline and sales. The investment side, the hardest part being finding a deal. Most investors, where I find it funny, is the ego. It's like you come in thinking that whatever you do is the best thing in the world. While it probably is for you, most realtors aren't comprehending whatever it is you're putting down. So in a perfect world, this like safe space where realtors and investors can play together, it's actually going to be bonded through education on both sides. And the willingness of education to be consumed by an investor, understanding what an agent goes through day to day. And on the agency side, understanding an investor's perspective is really nothing personal here, nothing emotion tied. It's just business. So if most investors truly are just number driven and trying to get their next deal, the gap here actually works out pretty well, because what do realtors do when they have potential opportunities? They send it to clients, they send it to prospects. They then form a fiduciary. Where most realtors get concerned is they feel like they're doing unethical activities. They feel like something isn't disclosed properly, something that I'm doing is wrong. Where in return, what they don't realize is the one piece of regulation that could be coming to play, they already have, and it's a license. So I don't feel like going into the full spiel, and I could talk 30 minutes on both of those. Long story short on those is that I just think that they need to both be educated more, agents and
Yeah.
investors, on what they could both do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great. I'm super excited for today. Once again, guys, Ryan's going to be calling on some active listings in Las Vegas. So I'm going to show you guys as much as I can. Obviously, as you know by now, YouTube, we can't show everything on YouTube. So I'm going to have a lot of it blurred, but let me just get this up.
Let's do it.
We'll kind of get an idea. And then Ryan, what I'm going to do is, you have the list of agents that I texted you, and then I will show you the property address. We might have to kind of hop around with it a little bit, but those are the agents. And then I'll bring up the coordinating address so you can kind of get a look about what their listing is all about. So
cool.
Blur this.
And really fast too, while we're pulling this up. So what we pulled today, this is the Vegas market. I obviously don't know the addresses, don't know any of these realtors. One thing, Landry, if you can just share, what is the filter that you put in place to be able to get these properties in Vegas?
Yeah,
is this,
absolutely.
Keywords? Is this days on market? Is this a specific tag? What is this?
Yeah. So this is, and see if you can pull that up, and I'll kind of show you guys the filters really quick on what I did today. Is I went into property search, and if you guys haven't tried Batch Leads or you don't have an account, go to batchleads.io/Zolin. So you guys can get 1,000 free seller, buyer, agent leads in your account. 7 days to try it out. And a lot of this stuff took me 2 minutes. So in property search, I just went and searched for Las Vegas, open up my filters. And then what I did, we actually have these kind of lead finder strategies, which put on a lot of those things for you, which is kind of nice. But I actually kind of just tweaked things a little bit. where I went in and I looked at properties that were listed at least 60 days on the market. So they've been sitting there for a little while. And then I also went into year build. I was looking for older properties as well that were just going to be a little bit more likely to need some TLC, some work. So we're kind of looking at the angle of once again, like Ryan was talking about earlier, sellers that are going to be willing to accept an offer that's obviously at a discounted price. So let's see what else. Have single family. I think I left that. And then the listing price, I think I put this at 370. I did 370, and we were just talking about this earlier on, like, I'm not super familiar with Vegas. So what I did beforehand is I looked up the median sale price, and then you just go a little below that and kind of tweak it and play around with it. A lot of these things, they don't have to be perfect. Sometimes you pull up a list and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to adjust like how long it's been owned or how old the homes are or whatever, you know, and you don't have to rush yourself through it. I think that's another thing I did on here too, is I wanted to look for things that were owned for a fair amount of time. So I pulled a pretty small list of like 18 to 20-ish properties, I believe, and things also listed below just market price in general, but just as easy as that.
I love it. And then you just click apply, it pulls up. And then what we're doing, again, we're not able to show you guys the full on detail. YouTube has some requirements on sharing information, even though it's public. We are not allowed to share like public information, like addresses and phone numbers and all that fun jazz. But again, click that link below. 7-day free trial, 1,000 free leads. I mean, at the end of the day, one of the things I find so funny is like, I play the game very well, jumping back and forth of agency to investment. And even like Jade that's in the comments here, she's one of the agents with us over at the family tree over at our brokerage. So even this morning, I was doing the agency meetings to now doing investment stuff over here. The thing that I hear the most in the agency world is, oh my gosh, I don't have any leads. You guys want to know a secret about this strategy? We don't have a lead issue. We have a conversion issue. We have a lack of focus issue. That's what the issue is within real estate investing. And partially due to, we're even kind of indoctrinating this a little bit right here. It's education. I mean, there's so much information out there so that it's so easy to consume. What I encourage is finding that 1, 2, 3 people that you're like, this is who I'm trying to replicate, and just take in as much as you can of whatever it is that they're pouring out into the marketplace. That's what I was able to go and do. And I found my own style based off of that. And obviously through, worth saying, plenty of failures, trial and error of this, trial and error of that, trial and error of this. The thing that I'm trying to get on top of the mountain and preach for people to at least get started with the real estate investing side, especially for those that are licensed agents, you have nothing to lose right now. So right now, if you're a licensed realtor watching this and you are maybe prospecting even a little bit earlier in the day, you're like, man, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm really struggling to find business. No one's responding to my ads. Nobody's responding to my dorky memes and dancing videos I'm putting out on TikTok. Like, how do I find a client? You go on the MLS and you submit offers. You want to know what happened for hedge funds over the last 2 years that really made them blow up and became such a big player in the marketplace? Hedge funds aren't new. They've been around forever. The problem with hedge funds is they ride the waves. So over the last 2 years, while it was super easy to go and sell, people were just order takers. You had something come across your table, you could get a buy price from a hedge fund, you're good to go. The order taker is just taking a contract to go. What happens if you do that on the wholesale side as a realtor, but instead of submitting offers day after day for a buyer client that is making you drop everything at random hours of the day to go show houses to them, what if you went and submitted 10, 15, 20 offers a day? They might be very low. I'm very aware. Also trying to set the expectation. But if one worked and you got a commission on a deal and an assignment fee, there was a deal example we went through today in our family tree call. I got one last week, 400,000, commission 3%, 12 grand, small little $2,500 assignment fee, but that turned to a $14,500 payday because I'm a licensed agent and it was on the MLS. That's the hack here. There is not a lead issue whatsoever. Everything on the MLS is a property and a potential deal that we could go and have a conversation with the agent with to see what ends up happening. Remembering the 3 basic things. First off, we're talking about the condition of the property. We're looking at an existing deal. So I'm talking about the condition. The second one, I'm going to talk about the seller's situation. What exactly is the reason for them selling? Why are they doing this? And is there specific things that they're looking for term-wise? And then number 3, now we could justify the price being insulting. It's not insulting because it's justified through the seller being willing to trade speed and convenience for price, on top of the fact that their 1990 house is not in 2023 condition. That's it.
Love it. I think that all of the different ways you can look at agent outreach are, I think it's a no-brainer for anybody getting started out. If you're not going to make it the bread and butter of your business, at least use it to get things going.
Stepping stone.
Stepping stone at least.
I
Okay.
see your text. So the first that, do I call Brett first, or do you want me to call Carmina?
I want you to call Brett first. It's going to be on this one. They kind of translated over a little bit, so I'm sorry in advance. It's going to be a little bit of like searching to find which agent. This will be the one that you're going to call on, and this is kind of what it looks like. Here, hold on.
You want me to put the screen up?
Oh, wait, hold on, actually.
Okay.
Put it up now. Should be good. Okay, cool. Okay, so this one right here is the one that is Brett that you're going to call him about. He's the agent on this property. So
can you just text me over to the address?
Yeah.
Cool. Let me put this comment up. Lenny, I see you. Is there states that MLS wholesaling is easier than others? And I'm referring to $0 in marketing if you have to back out or renegotiate price. Yeah. So what you're referring to is probably states where there isn't an option fee or a non-refundable earnest money requirement. Yes, there are states like Arizona that have that, even though they're looking into compliance things that would require earnest money be non-refundable if you're wholesaling. Some states are going to require licenses. Some states require option fees. Some states require every kind of disclosure possible. The long story short here is that there is no easy solution. What you need to do is just find what your market is and then get to work. And I mean that with all love. Like, don't sit there and try to justify not taking action because you're trying to find what the easiest solution is. The path of least resistance is typically the worst advice that I could offer anybody to go after, because what that's going to train you to do is go for the lowest hanging fruit. So I say that just out of tough love. And obvious bias is that you have a lot of resources here with myself and with people that are watching the show live in the replay that are in Vegas, Texas, California, Arizona, Florida, probably some Midwest states. The Carolinas are obviously big. Atlanta's big. All of these markets where a lot of wholesalers play and do a lot of business is where I would obviously recommend going, with the exception of obviously being in your backyard being an option. Cool. Let's call Brett.
All right.
So recap really fast. Condition, situation, price. Condition, I could tell right here. Obviously, this is a beautiful, remodeled to the T. This is a move-in ready house. Look at that. It comes with a beautiful cardboard window. No, we're gonna call Brett.
Yeah, it says house is in much need of TLC.
How does that sound? Can you hear that okay?
Yeah, I can.
Hello, this is Brett.
Hey, Brett. My name is Ryan. I'm calling about a property that you've got on the MLS on Vegas Valley Drive.
Yeah, I think we just closed that one.
You guys just closed that one. Gotcha. Okay. Was it a cash transaction?
I'm sure it was.
Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, the house had a lot of fire damage, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha. Okay. It's not active. Like, you guys don't have it for sale?
No, I wasn't. I was a listing agent, not the buyer. So
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Well, no worries. It might just be an error on my end. While I have you on the phone though, do you have anything else coming up like that? I was hoping to call on that one. I thought it was active.
I've got a lot of fixed properties. I don't have anything for flippers because they're coming in way too low. And if I have it on the market, then that means they're looking for top of the market.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. I mean, I get the only reason I ask is obviously just trying to do more business. I'm not sure if you work with a bunch of other investors then, because we have a few connections with wholesalers and stuff that send us deals, but they're just usually marked up too.
Yeah, I mean, wholesale to me, I don't even know why that. It just means it's code for dirt cheap. So yeah, I mean, I have that number of people that want stuff dirt cheap. I don't have. That's not hard to find, but
Sure. Okay. Well, yeah, no worries. I really appreciate that. If it's cool with you, could I just save your number as a resource out in Vegas? So if I do come across anything at that dirt cheap price that I could send it over to you?
dirt cheap to buy or dirt cheap to sell?
Both. What I'm trying to do is kind of both games here. Like if I could help people with purchasing and also with selling, I mean, we're trying to go out there and we're looking for flips ourselves. But at the end of the day, we have a bunch of wholesalers that are sending us stuff that I don't want to waste your time and send you anything that's overpriced. But if they have something that works, I mean, I can always send it to you to send to one of your buyers with the goal that we could just put together a couple deals.
No, understood. I mean, I'm sure you have no shortage of people too that want things dirt cheap. So
right,
whatever. We'll see what happens.
Cool. I'll save your number, and if I come across anything, I'll let you know.
Okay, thanks.
So there was just like a little bit of a technical issue. Thought the property was active. It's not. It's all good. But what I wanted to show you guys there was what would most people do when they call and they're like, oh, shoot, this property's active. And then it finds out that it's not. I was like, well, shoot, is it cash? Like it's sold? Was he the listing agent? Was he the buyer's agent? I was asking if they had it for sale, implying that, okay, yeah, you just closed on it. Did you buy it or were you the listing agent? Came out that he was the listing agent. It doesn't always work how you expect it to. And there's been plenty of times where I've even called on properties that are on the MLS that state I'm licensed in using the active MLS, and the agent just hasn't flipped it to pending yet. Oh, Ryan, I had 7,000 offers on this property and I actually just accepted one like 2 seconds ago. I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay. Like, while I have you here, just to make sure that my time isn't going to waste, if I'm going to put an extra 2-3 minutes into a conversation, what do you do? While I have you, you're a realtor that answered the phone. So even while there's no business that can be done, this is a realtor that even had a listing. It's sold. Amazing realtor relationship because they answer the phone. So that's what we're looking for a lot of the times, not leaving any stone left unturned. So while it wasn't a great, super sexy example about a specific property that is active, I was able to kind of flip the script a little bit and say, well, wait a second. While I have you, do you have other fix and flip properties? Well, wholesale just means dirt cheap. Yes and no. I mean, on a technicality note, you couldn't be more wrong. But on a emotional, let's agree with this guy and just get to the end of the conversation note, you're right. Everything you say, you're right. Yep. Wholesale means dirt cheap. So, hey, if I find something dirt cheap, can I send it to you? Notice how I did that. And he ended up like he won the game there. He played right. He was like, wait a second. So like to sell or buy? Yes, both. I'm here trying to solve problems. And if anything, I think we could agree on, even while you said wholesale just equals dirt cheap, I think we could both agree we would like to do some deals. So if that means one more deal, 2 more deals, 10, 20, 30 more deals, I want to be a part of it. So that's kind of what that whole goal was with that conversation guy. And he even said too, he's like, it sounds to me like you've got a bunch of people looking for dirt cheap too. So I'll just save your number. He's not going to save my number, but he's worth at least saving in my phone that he's a resource in Vegas. And then from there, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. This next one is, it's pretty clean and just straight to the point. There's nothing crazy with it. I'm going to actually try to pull you up something different with something that's been on the market a little bit shorter, just because I feel like that pulls us up just for the sake of example on finding these. I've found lately anyway, at least playing around with it, the really good ones, like the ones that we're wanting to call on there, at least without searching like keywords, are like the ones that have been listed for like super short, you know, the ones that are going super quick. But this one's pretty clean. The one with Paulette.
And that one I just clarified too. It's the one that's kind of like middle of the way through the texts, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Paulette G.
User busy, bro.
Dang.
I'm busy.
All right. Okay, one sec.
On to the next one. It's all good. I'll let you pull that up while I'll answer a few of the questions here.
Okay.
Jade said, Ryan, are you doing mostly cash or creative deals or a good mix of both? I don't touch creative. I've got a few seller finance type transactions under my belt, and I think those are fantastic. Sub 2 just gets a little blurred with my style and what we do. Grupo Leo. What do you say to the agent for the contract to be assignable? It depends on the state and the market. The best person to reference for this answer for your specific market is going to be a title company or a closing attorney. Ask if there's specific verbiage that they are looking for in the contract that would make this assignable. Each state, each market, some even title companies have different requirements and regulations to follow. So you just want to make sure you're going to check with the people that are going to close your transaction. While it's cool, the guy on the internet can give you advice. The best advice would be the one that's going to get the deal closed. And I can't give you that. The title company that has the transaction can. So usually it's specific verbiage in the contract. Some states like Arizona, it's now like a separate addendum in a box being checked. But yeah.
Okay, and I got another one for you. And this one, It's got its windows boarded up. I'll show it to you as well. And I'm just going to grab the agent's name.
Cool.
As well for you.
Wally said, does reaching out to agents for off-market deals work? Just hired a VA to do that specifically. Two-part thing here. First off, yes, absolutely. That's what the name of the game is for a lot of people with agent outreach. They reach out to realtors looking to find off-market opportunities. Reason being off-market is that it is a lot easier to sell to a buyer when the perception and what they can visually see is not active on the MLS. Some buyers even have an issue with it saying pending. It's not to say there aren't buyers that will buy deals off the MLS. That's obviously how we built our business. But just be mindful that to a lot of buyers, they prefer off market. So reaching out to agents for off market deals, absolutely. As for hiring a VA, that's the second part of this. I do not recommend that. You are building relationships with realtors. Do you trust somebody that has broken English that you are paying less than $5 an hour to build the relationships that are supposed to make you 6 figures a year? Or do you think that you're going to do that better? Not going to answer that because I think you know the best answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, and I'm going to show this one too, just so you can get an idea. It doesn't have any other additional pictures, just this one, pretty straight to the point on this, but says good investment property, needs to be fixed up, has not fine, blah, blah, blah.
Let's do it. On Bourbon Way?
Yes, that's right. And this has only been on the market for 2 days, by the way.
Hello?
Hi. I was calling trying to find the listing agent for the property on Bourbon Way.
Yeah, this is Singh. I'm the listing agent.
Oh, awesome. Perfect. Is that one still available? First question, is it available?
One yesterday. I'm waiting counter back today. So.
Okay, so you guys are actively sending counters out?
Yeah, I'm outside. I have not get back to office yet. So.
Okay, gotcha. Do you have a couple minutes just to chat really fast about the property?
Oh yes, no problem.
Okay, cool. So I like that it's still available. That helps to start. Second is based on like the condition of the photos. Obviously the property needs some work. I see that it's all boarded up windows and some of the interior photos just obviously need some love. Is there anything from the photos that I can't see that I like should know about? Any kind of like major ticket items?
Are you an agent?
I'm licensed in Arizona, but I'm not looking to represent myself. I was kind of hoping to have you represent me, and I'm looking to buy it as a flip.
Inside need some fix up. The power we fail to pass the inspection. Electrical we fail, and right now, the other thing we already passed. The permit may be expired, and we need to pass final inspection. So.
Gotcha. Okay. So it sounds like there's definitely some work that needs to be done. The seller, are they looking for kind of like faster close? Are they looking for 30 to 45 days? Is there like any specific terms or anything that would like?
We have 10 offers already. So
10 offers.
Much, okay. Yeah, much higher than full price offer. So.
Okay. Let me ask you, would you be able to represent us in the transaction?
How much you want to offer?
I mean, I have to get final approval from my guy. I can run to him after this call and kind of get a ballpark of what we'd be, but hearing that we need to be above list price, my answer hopefully isn't insulting, but as little as possible that I need to be above list price, but I'm not sure if there's like a specific range that I'd have to be in. Think about why I would ask that question. I'll bring it up in a minute.
Yeah, we have a much higher than full price offer.
Okay. You would be able to represent us though? You said you'd be able to do that?
I already counted one out yesterday. I'm waiting.
Sure.
I'm waiting, counter back, send back. If they didn't send back, yeah.
Okay.
You text me, I save your number. Maybe I can call you.
Yeah, no, that works for sure. What I'll do is I'll make a note in my system then too, that if I just don't hear back from you in the next like couple hours, that I'll just reach back out. The reason for having you represent us would just be to make it an easier transaction with also hopefully my offer not being insulting. So if I've got to come up in price a little bit, I could probably make it work. I'd have to run the numbers with my team. But at first initial glance, this one just kind of struck our eye because of the condition. So if you just want to give me a shout back after you hear back from that person, or if you don't, and then we could put something in writing.
That's fine if you got a chance, but I'm not going to take any responsibility after I sold the property. Okay.
No, for sure. And that makes sense
Because,
to me. As is, where is, all that stuff, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already told you everything what I know.
Yep. And
If
I
it's
really
something I
appreciate
don't
that.
know, I don't know, because this one is we have got a fire before a couple years ago, and we hired a general contractor to rebuild it, partial fire, but he ran away. That's why left over a mess, you know.
Gotcha.
Uh-huh.
All right. Yeah. Well, let me know what they say if they get back to you. And then hopefully we could get this one put together. But if not, then I would really like to find a way that we could do a deal together, regardless of it being this one or not.
Okay.
Awesome.
Text me your name. I save your number. So in case, yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
First question, is the property still available? No reason in having a full-on conversation and then finding out at the end that even like where I got there, that's not usually a conversation I would keep that going. But 10 plus offers on a property like that, fine. For shits and giggles and for educational purposes, I'll keep the conversation going. They have multiple offers. The one that she countered back, she's representing. That's why she doesn't want to write up an offer for me right now, is because she already has representation out in the form of another offer. So if she were to go and compete against herself with another offer where it gets kind of gray on the fiduciary side, not that dual agency is not already gray, where it gets a little more gray is that she'd be countering against herself, against her seller who she's representing in both transactions that she's countering for.
Yeah.
So it just gets very, very, very gray. So what she was going to say, her end result was that she was going to see if the other person doesn't respond to the counter. If they don't, she was going to call me back. She told me to send her my information at the end, which was awesome. The main thing I wanted to bring up as a point, number one, asking if it's available. 2, is there anything from the photos that I can't see that I should know about? Any major ticket items? Are you an agent? I am, but I'm not looking to represent myself. I was kind of hoping you could represent me. There's electrical issues, power issues, this issue, this issue, this issue, this issue, this issue. Notice how I paused for dramatic effect there. I was like, pause to be like, yikes. You might as well have told me there's a bomb under the property. That's how I'm trying to portray that. It's like, oh gosh, okay, well, you know, we didn't really even scroll through the photos, but you kind of got the gist. I'm like, well, look, I mean, based on the photos and the condition, and then on top of that, you just told me everything about it doesn't pass any kind of inspection.
Yeah, seriously.
Yikes. So now the next point is seller situation. Do I just go in and say, so usually through the photos, you could tell if the house is vacant or not. In this case, I didn't want to be like, so what's the seller's story? That's not a good sales pitch. A good sales pitch is, are there any terms the seller is looking for in our offer that would make it more appealing? Maybe us closing in 5-10 days, maybe a 30-day close. I don't like saying fast cash as is, quick close, because that's not always what they're looking for. So when you ask a question like, what's your time frame? Typically that will tell you if the seller is motivated enough to take an offer yesterday and close it tomorrow, or if they are willing to or looking for 30, 45, 60 days, possible extension to stay in the house post-possession, anything along those lines. You just want to make sure crossing our T's, dotting our I's, and also it tells the story. Now, based off of knowing it can't pass any inspection, on top of knowing the seller is really just looking for an offer, they have multiple offers that are above list. The only other thing I did was I was trying to get out of her through the form of representation, because she has my fiduciary. Where does my offer need to be? I haven't ran any numbers on this property, but if you're going to tell me I need to be 50K above list price, don't even bother. Like it's not going to happen unless I'm actually buying this property myself. That's not something I would advise to go and even do in this current market. Obviously, it depends on whatever market you're in, but in Arizona, like, I'm not going to go into a battle with a bunch of other investors for a property and try to make a deal work. I'm going to be very confident in the deals that I'm locking up and closing right now, just because after what I saw over the last 18 months. So cool.
Right.
Best advice for an 18-year-old wholesaler like me who has had contracts before but no deals. Great question.
Nice.
What did you learn? I'm going to challenge you back. What advice I can offer is going to be based on the experience and willingness that you have to learn. So what did you learn in the specific deals that you had under contract that you couldn't close? Did you struggle with selling it? Did you struggle where you did not comp the property properly and you are overpriced? Did you miss a step in the conversation? And more importantly, did you lose any earnest money? Did you ruin a relationship with anybody? What was some specific things that happened in this event that we could possibly work on to make sure it doesn't happen again? That's the best form of teaching, is by doing and being willing to learn from the mistake. So as for advice, otherwise, I could give you all the cliche bullshit. You are who you surround yourself with. Stay consistent. Make sure you've got the right mindset. You take care of yourself and your personal life and on top of your business. Some real level stuff. You're 18. You're probably going to lose half your friends. You're probably going to outgrow a lot of people. You're probably going to have more people doubt you and want to be you rather than trying to provide value and getting in your circle the right way. I say all that with just the assumption of success being your future. So with that, the only other thing is find a mentor, find somebody you could attach onto, whoever that is that's currently doing what you want, pay whatever that price is, or find a way to provide enough value to where they notice you and just latch on, attach your boat to their bigger boat. And I promise you, they will pull you along wherever it is that they're going with, again, the assumption you're not just sucking value out of them.
What age again did you get started, Ryan? It was also
18.
super young. Yeah.
18.
Well, there you go.
Fresh out of high
Yeah.
school.
I think I remember like way back in the day, like at the first office of Batch, like we talked about when I first like officially met you, like your episode that you did on like when Batch TV was brand spanking new.
Yeah.
And you talked all about that, you lost a ton of friends and relationships because of the different path that you
It
took.
happens. I mean, look, on top of that too, well, there was business stuff. There was also personal stuff. There's a lot of things within my personal life that like I got exposed to true colors, and that happens obviously when money's involved, but then when you start tying friends, family, business all together, things happen. So it sucks. I mean, life is tough. And so what it takes is the willingness and the perseverance, really. I mean, to be able to go through and push through every single day. We always talk about like the mindset and the stuff like that, but on the entrepreneurial journey, the hardest part is being alone. Like there is no blueprint, guide by guide. You read these 50 pages and follow it step by step, you're going to be successful. Each person that teaches something obviously has bias, but the next thing is that their story worked for them. It may not work for you. So that's where at 18, I just try to like be like, you're going to get exposed to a lot, and being here enough. Congratulations. You've already done what a lot of people don't have. And that's an opportunity. So now you just need to be able to realize what that opportunity means to you. And what are you willing to do with it? There's a lot of times I see, especially in like the younger crowd, and I'm still young myself, but like I see it in the younger crowd, I always talk about like ego and entitlement. The ego is thinking that you're worth more than you are, and the entitlement is that you deserve more than you do. So if you can really find a way to hone in and minimize those emotions and thoughts, and not even saying that like as a derogatory way, like, haha, you've got this. Everybody goes through it, even myself included. When I first got started in real estate, I just got humbled. I realized that the world doesn't give a shit, and neither does real estate. The minute you care about money, money doesn't care about you. So you have to really disconnect emotionally from a lot of the stuff you go through. And from there, it goes back to just being with the right crowd, being in the right rooms. I would tell you right now, like a lot of the value that I think of being on a team that people sleep on is because they get discounted in commission and discounted in pay. But what they don't put the value on is the exposure and just being in the proximity of people that are wildly successful. Some of the craziest lessons I've learned were by just being in the rooms, not even being in the conversation. Let that sink in. Not even being in the conversation, but being in the room is what taught me a lot of lessons. So to be in that room, what did it take? It took money, took paying to be at some events, which is money. It takes freaking invitations and relationships being built. But on top of that, you go and you provide enough value, you get invited into the right spaces. And that again goes back to bringing it all full circle. That is the level up what we're talking about here. So whether it becomes MLS and agent outreach 100%, or it ends up transitioning out to being, hey, I'm direct to seller. Hey, I'm doing creative finance. I'm doing private lending. I'm fix and flipping. Whatever your strategy is, it just has to start somewhere. That's, again, millionth reason why people struggle in this business. You start off at the wrong phase. You have to start at level 1. If you try starting off at level like 5, 6, 7, you're not going to win. You're trying too hard to do things that you don't even know. That's like going and giving a freaking, this is a horrible analogy, 6-year-old like a Harley. You're like, hey, this is a motorcycle and you're going to love this. It's obviously a higher class type motorcycle, but what ends up happening is they should have started off on the tricycle, the thing that had the freaking bike with the training wheels. They need to have
Yeah.
support. They need to have the helmets, bubble wrap the kid, elbow pads, knee pads, freaking goggles. You didn't start off on the Harley. So it's the same thing here. That's what this comes down to. And obviously I went on a little bit of a tangent there for the 18-year-old. But just get in the right rooms. That's going to be your
love it. Yeah, we'll share the links to the community if you want to get into the batch community, or Ryan's community is an awesome place as well, just for all of you guys here to get connected with people. Just kind of like what you're talking about with, like the knee pads and all that stuff. It's like surround yourself with people that are doing the same thing as you. Those are a great place to go. So
let's call Jennifer really fast, and then we'll throw out the links. As I'm calling, the link below, batchleads.io/Zolin. Get 1,000 free leads. Make sure to sign up. One thing we are doing, I kind of announced this in my Discord, but I want to make sure I'm giving everybody here a fair chance. We got like 40 people on here right now. We're giving away a ticket to the mastermind. So the qualification for this is going to be through engagement in my Discord. This is going to be through collaboration and showing up and just really helping. Even if you don't know what you're doing, you're not 100% confident, you haven't done your first deal yet, this is still an opportunity for you. So the only requirement that we are making as this goes through is that we need you guys to have batch leads. So batchleads.io/Zolin. I promise you I'm doing this for a reason. I am working on this being a show where we can engage a little bit more. So can we bring some guests in at the end? Can you make a couple calls? And more importantly, can you show us what your batch looks like so we can make sure you're doing this properly? These are systems and stuff that I use day in and day out. Obviously, there's a few out there, but batch is one of my primary ones. So anytime we pull lists of realtors in any market, especially virtual markets, this is what I'm going through. So batchleads.io/Zolin. If you sign up for the free trial, send us a screenshot. Let us know you signed up. We're going to verify it. Don't worry. And then on top of that, you have to be engaging inside of our community. So Discord is free. We have free coaching, free collaboration. People are JVing deals, finding buyers, finding agents, doing pretty much everything possible inside of our Discord. I'm trying to get you the systems we use, try to give you all of our resources and free coaching. Does this at all sound like this is something that we're trying to bring in for our purpose or for yours? And obviously, yes, we have things to sell. All the things we're talking about here are for you. This is not for us. This is not selling. The selling will come and you will know when we're selling you. So with that said, I'm going to make one more call. Make sure you sign up for batchleads.io/Zolin, and then we will go in and I'll show you out the couple last links as we wrap up.
Okay. And then pull this up too so you can see this. This property has water damage. Just going to give you an idea. It says it needs a complete renovation.
Okay. I'm calling Mountain Stream. Is this Sunrise or Mountain Stream?
This is the one with Jennifer's name on it.
Yeah. Jennifer, okay. Mountain Stream.
Cool. Yeah. So you can see it is bad.
Jennifer didn't answer. You want to move to Sunrise?
Yeah. I have Sunrise up as well.
Okay.
So you can kind of see the wonky roof. So it's a lot cleaner.
So then Jennifer didn't answer. This one's Valerie. I'm going to leave a voicemail to show everybody how you can leave a voicemail for an active listing if you wanted to.
You reached Valerie Deployan with Realty One Group. Please leave me your message and I will get back with you as soon as I get a chance.
Hey, Valerie. My name's Ryan, calling about the listing you've got on Sunrise. I just had a few questions. I'm interested in purchasing this myself. This is myself. You just want to give me a shout back. Thanks. I'm interested in purchasing this myself. Why would I say that? Well, if you were an agent and somebody called about a listing that you had and said, I want to buy this myself, and doesn't sound like they are an agent, what are you doing? You're getting up at the funeral. You're getting up at the kitchen table. You're getting up at your job that you have that you do on top of your real estate career. You're walking out of the room to take this call is what I'm saying. So obviously I'm going to try to make my point come to fruition here. Yeah. Hopefully she reads her voicemail in the next 12 minutes, but if not, it's all good. We're going to go through them. We're going to share out our links, drop hopefully a few more nuggets, and then answer any more questions that you guys have. So last link here, agentinvestors.com/Discord. We are doing our challenge. If you are based in Arizona too, obviously you don't have to pay for travel, but we are giving away a free ticket to our mastermind. So one free ticket. This is just for one person. This is not with a guest. This is for somebody that has signed up with batch leads and is also actively engaging in our community. Our goal is that really what we're trying to accomplish here, the person we give the ticket to is somebody that deserves it. So this is somebody that is showing up, they're taking action, they're doing the work, and they're showing that they're trying to be the best version of themselves. If you already have batch leads, great. Let us know too. Just send us a screenshot showing that you have batch leads. Our goal is to be able to really help somebody change their life. What we do inside of these masterminds, it's special. Like, that's the only way I could say this. We really bring in some heavy hitters and some high level entrepreneurs. I'm not going to spoil some of the surprises because some of my Diamond members don't even know who our speakers are yet.
Oh, okay.
But what I can say is that we have a couple of our students that are multimillionaires from the strategies that they've learned in our community that are making their first speaking appearances at our mastermind. We also have some people that I will just kind of leave as like a little bit of a sneak preview. We have some of the bigger name celebrities that you might or might not know of that are very active in the real estate investing space. These are all people that are multimillionaires. We don't charge much for our event. It's really put on for my Diamond tier members, but this is our last like intimate event. This is going to be, we're already sold out. We're actually overbooked. Our last ticket we have left to give out is this right here. So we are going to be just under 70 people that are showing up, traveling in all across the country. Just for perspective's sake, we have less than 4 people that are actively in Arizona that are showing up to the event, meaning that everybody else is from out of state.
Wow.
So if you wanted to feel as if you were in the trenches with somebody that is also on the same path, someone that's like-minded, maybe you're struggling to find that supportive person or community around you, this is hopefully the start of it all. But agentinvestors.com/Discord. Make sure you have batchleads.io/Zolin. What else am I missing, Landry?
Here, let me get you this link too. If you guys want to get into the batch community as well, like obviously as we're on here and we can't show everything, we can just kind of give you the gist. You guys can send me a message in there. I can always send you a screen recording. There's a ton of just amazing people that are also kind of just in both like batch community and over in the Discord channel too. So let me grab this.
There it is. I got it.
Oh, you do have it? Okay.
Yeah, the bit.ly.
Okay, great.
Cool. Yeah, that link down below will give you guys the page to go to join the batch community. Great place just to be able to answer questions live. Some awesome things that they do out there too. The main goal, if you guys haven't really seen what we've been pushing across even the last hour, but the last however many episodes we've done of this, we're here to help. We're here to be a community, to give and to serve. So whatever it is that we could do to be of service, that's what we're trying to accomplish for you guys.
Awesome. And let's see, there's some questions.
Yeah. Lenny said, how often do deals drop out on market due diligence? And usually did you have success when there wasn't multiple offers? Yeah. I mean, in that case, what you could always do is being a backup offer is not a bad case. The only thing you want to make sure of is that the one that you're going to be submitting a backup offer for, you better be the one that's next in line. Don't be one of 12 other backup offers because the odds of success are just slim. The odds of success being a backup offer in general are slim. But how often do deals drop out? Deals drop out every day. A lot of deals on the MLS drop out. The only thing you'll ever hear me say that is like a little bit like blah about the MLS is that I don't like that we gave people so much information about the MLS, and with that great power comes great responsibility that has been abused. So what I mean by that is people know how to run our numbers. So they offer 10, 15, 20K higher. Well, then it ends up on a wholesale list. Then it ends up in front of us. I will never go in and get a deal under contract on the MLS with the expectation that I just locked it up too high, so I'm going to ask for a price reduction. That is not the right way of doing this. You have to go in and offer where the deal makes sense for you, for your buyers, and not waste anybody's time. So, yeah, the answer is that it happens often. The thing that I've just learned is that I'm not emotionally connected to a deal. So not to come in snarky to a realtor, but to come in with that sense of, I want this, I don't need this. They need to sell the listing more than they want to sell the listing. The need is because that's what their pay is. The realtors get paid commission when the deal, whether it's a listing or a sale, they are getting paid commission. So for me, it's just the emotional disconnecting. And then also just consistency. The more offers I submit, the more conversations I have, inevitably I will find success.
I love what Jade said earlier about it really is just a numbers game. Just stop thinking so hard about it, which I have a question. I mean, it kind of goes into something that I've heard a lot of community members ask recently. And then also I think Lenny, obviously on a different side of thing, asking about, is there better markets to be in and everything? Sure. Recently in the community, everybody was having a conversation about like, well, I wouldn't do this market because this, that, and the other. Like, do you need to think about it so hard? Or would you just maybe say what I suggested to the group was like, hey, just see if there's any investor activity. And then if there is, then it's
Yeah, so I think that's the main thing. It's high investor activity. The thing I always try to get across people's head when they ask about what market to pick, if you have the ability to work in your backyard, meaning your local market,
yeah.
that is the best case scenario. The reason is that when you're learning, you have to go show a property to a buyer. Do you want to rely on a realtor that you've met virtually, that you've never met in person? You just have to hope that what they say they do and who they are is actually that. Would you rather that be the case, or would you rather be able to go drive over there yourself? Both are very scary because it takes a lot of like getting out of your comfort zone. But when you could go and drive to the property yourself, you could go drive for dollars for that matter. You could go and stop by any open houses that are in the neighborhood that you just had the property under contract. Maybe you didn't sell it, but you were able to go and meet the realtors that have listings around there. The
Mhm.
goal of being able to do all of this in person is not just because it's easier, it's because it's actually better for building long-term business, in my opinion. Might be a little biased there, but Arizona, in what's helped me, has just been because I'm around a lot of competitors. So people are always scared of competition. I thrive in it. I thrive in the chaos. And on top of that, I actually believe everybody has more opportunity in a very high activity area as opposed to the wild, wild west. So if you're out in the boonies, you're out in countryside, wherever it is, and there's just, less than 500 active listings, it's a little tight.
Yeah.
You could still do deals in your local market if that is your local market. You just have to be mindful that there's probably 2 or 3 buyers that are the big players in that market.
Yeah.
There's probably 5 to 10 realtors that are really active in that market. There is no top 1%. There's like top 1. Like that's those smaller markets. Aside from that, you're looking at activity. You're seeing a lot of cash transactions. You're seeing good high turnover percentage. You're seeing a lot of job growth and potential and gentrification.
Mhm.
Happy hunting. I mean, a deal is land, a deal is a mobile home, a deal is condos, townhouses, single family home, commercial buildings, businesses. I mean, everywhere is literally real estate. And not to go down that whole like freaking trip of a conversation, but like everywhere you're at, even wherever you're watching this right now, you are in some way, somehow, some form of real estate. You're at a
Yeah.
Starbucks, congrats, you're a commercial property. They might own that building, they might lease that building. Might be a local coffee shop, might be a big coffee brand like Starbucks. You have all these different variables, but all comes back to real estate. So really it comes down to just how bad do you want it? It's not a
Yeah.
market thing, just like how it was an elite issue. It's you. Just like how I have a lot of people that are posting on social media right now. I think we're seeing a big like influx of new wholesalers come in.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of like hypotheticals.
Mhm.
I
What
need
if
a
this? What if
brand.
that?
I need an
Yeah.
LLC. I need a logo. I need to have the
I need a
contract.
business card. I always hear that one. I'm
Everything.
like, oh,
I need a website. I need hoodies. I need all the merch. I need everything possible except for doing what I need to do to make money. So really just go and take action, and not to give just that unblinded advice of just have fun. Really go and do it. Like go and contact agents. I promise you, you'll have after 10 convos. And obviously today we didn't have a bunch of conversations with agents, but after 10 convos with agents, you'll know. They'll all come out and say, oh yeah, no, once in a blue moon, we get something around here. Odds are if multiple realtors are saying that, it's not a very big market.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a virtual market, don't be scared to go and be in the backyard of someone else that you know and trust, hopefully even like myself in Arizona. Arizona is a phenomenal market, by far
Yeah.
one of the best markets in this country for all of real estate. And people are scared of it because, oh my gosh, we got the big dogs. Well, stop. Do you want to be the big dog? Because if you do, you got to be with the big dogs. You're not just going to go. I mean, you could be the big dog in a small little town, but then you're the biggest fish in the smallest pond. That's not at a certain point. Whether that's your life dream, great, you did it. Congrats. If you're trying to scale it and build, the empires are going to be built where there's a lot of activity.
Love it. So Mike is asking if you guys would buy in Illinois.
No, not
Why?
right now. Try not to get canceled, but I personally do not believe in buying rentals in blue states. Anything that is not landlord friendly or leaning landlord siding, it's just tough. So we've got a couple buildings my family owns in downtown Chicago, like their coach house up front, multiple. It's like a multifamily unit. I like those, But out of all the rentals that we've got from here to Tennessee to what we even had JV wise in Florida, Illinois is the nightmare. What's the common denominator with that, similar to California, to New York, to a lot of these other states where some of the worst headaches happen for eviction? The politics. So no, Blue Wise, I don't really buy. I also would say that they've got some hoops to jump through with being licensed.
Oh,
You
I
can't
see.
wholesale. You could do one wholesale deal per year, and then you need to have a real estate license. So
Yeah.
I just don't love that.
Let's see if there's anything else. I guess
Leroy had one more. Just had one fall out of contract, New Orleans. Let's talk about it, man. Whatever I can do to help you out. If you need help moving some deals, people in my Discord would love to help you, especially in that market. And also, too, just full transparency, I don't get anything on those deals. Not looking to get paid, looking to help people out. It's my my service I provide to the community. So cool.
love it.
Well, that's all we got. I mean, that was a quick little hour there. Landry, any last thoughts or anything?
I don't think so. I guess just get into the communities, guys, get into Discord and share where you want Ryan to be calling in, because once again, we do this show for you guys. Of course, we love to hop on here every week, but it's for your benefit to learn how to, on my side of things, like you don't have to overcomplicate all of the system and software stuff. Like utilize people that will teach you how to not have a headache with all of that stuff. And then people like Ryan to really help you understand the action steps to take so that you can move forward. So anyway, get into the communities and connect with people so that you can move forward.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, if you're looking for any of these relationships, you've got them in the batch community, you've got them in my community. There's plenty of other communities out there in real estate too. So
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in and for being here live and also watching the replay. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll see you guys next week. Peace
Thanks,
out.
guys.